Alright, so I'm going to make a typical dinner and show you guys what we eat. I'll pick a cabbage, some kohlrabis, maybe 3 of them. That one grow another couple of days. This one looks good. Yeah, that's enough of those. Just pick a couple of these massive rhubarbs. Gosh, I can't even get down to the stalk. They're like the size of my arm. So I might just put the phone down to grab 2 of those. Right, and the potato garden. Those potatoes are still a little bit green. I'll just leave them for a bit. Oh yeah, here's some. Yeah. Chuck it over with those rhubarb. There's another one. Cute. So I'm just going to chop off all those roots, chuck it in that bucket with those banana plants because it's soil pretty much, and then take it inside and wash it. The potatoes have pretty soft skin, so we just wash them. We don't peel them because the skin has a lot of nutrients. The cabbage, you can see, has a waxy side that's freshly picked, and then once you clean the wax off it looks like that. So we peel it off leaf by leaf and clean the wax off each individual leaf, and we'll probably use about 3 to 4 leaves per person, 3 to 4 leaves per person, and it just helps the cabbage stay fresher than if you were to cut it in half and use half and save half. And then the kohlrabi we peel because the outer is like really fibrous and kind of bitter and it's yuck. And then the rhubarb, I'll hold it back here so you can see it all. The green leafy bit comes off because that's toxic, and then this part here we peel it and then cook it with sugar in a pot till it's kind of soft, and then we'll add it to the cake, pour custard over it and bake that. That'll be our pudding. I just put a bit of olive oil over both the potatoes and the kohlrabi. Give it a bit of a mix up. Get it all nicely coated. Now on the kohlrabi I'm putting roast veggie seasoning, so that's got salt, garlic, fennel, pepper, caraway, smoked paprika, ginger, rosemary, onion, raw sugar, lemon peel. And then on the potatoes I'm just using plain thyme. And I'll chuck those in the oven. I took off like 9 leaves of the purple cabbage because this head's still pretty dense and that's enough to do a whole nother dinner. So I just went outside and got some of these Brussels sprout leaves. So they're pretty cute. They can use like little serving dishes if you're getting all artsy on an outdoor picnic or something, you know, nice plate. But I'm just going to wash them and cut them up with the red cabbage. While the cabbage steams away, I'll just peel the rhubarb. I'm going to use a knife and I'm just going to go down. You can use a peeler, these are such big bits. Right, it's pretty good. I've put about 1/3 of a cup of sugar on the rhubarb, and I'm just going to leave it covered for, you know, kind of 10 to 15 minutes until it's soft. Next I'm going to make the custard, so I've put in 1/4 cup of coconut cream, and I'm putting in 1 tablespoon of sugar and 2 tablespoons of custard powder. I'll stir that up, and once it's all mixed in well, I will add in the rest of the can of coconut cream. which is about 100 mils less than what the recipe asks for. So it'll make it just that little bit thicker. Alright, that's thickening up. So we'll pour in the rest of the coconut cream. While the custard bubbles away, I'm just going to make a creamy cheese sauce to go with the greens. So I'm going to grate a bit of this stuff. And this stuff is dairy-free cheddar alternative. Good stuff for if you're lactose intolerant. It melts nicely. And I've got some coconut cream, coconut yogurt. Since it's the end of the jar, I'm just going to go straight into the jar. And I'll be using some chicken salt. Probably a teaspoon's worth. And some savory yeast flakes, nutritional yeast. And I'll be putting in about 3 tablespoons of that. So I'll put the cheese in there too. Mix all that up together, and then when the greens are nice and soft, it'll be ready to just pour over them and let it all kind of melt in on a low heat until it's, you know, all melted and mixed well. Yeah. You can see that the rhubarb is broken down nicely now. There's still some chunks, but it's pretty soft. And I've got the leftover from the mayonnaise coconut cake. I've cut a solid line here because I'm going to freeze this half and use it later. But all of this cake, I'm just going to kind of tear up and chuck in the bowl here. And then I'm going to be putting the rhubarb on the top of that, then pouring the custard on the top of that, and then chucking it in the oven to bake it. Nice. And if I want it to have a crunchy top, I can just put sugar on there and then put it under the grill for a couple of minutes at the end, or use a blowtorch. While I'm over here putting pudding in the oven, I'll just bring out the kohlrabi and the potato so I can give them a bit of a toss around. Add oil all over them. And pop them back in. So I've taken the cabbage off the steamer. I've put the water in a pot over here in case Daddy wants to use it for something, maybe in the garden or something, and mix all of this cheesy, coconutty, nutritional yeast into it. Oh, it's so good. I love it so much. You can do any greens like this, really. It's just so good. It even smells good. Get all that stuff off the steam. Alright, put it split off. Alright, low heat like 2. Marvellous. Just cleaning as I go so I can keep on top of things. I'll just wipe down the benches, empty the compost, and I've got a nice clean work area to start plating. So I'm making a cheese omelette for Ambrose because Daddy and I are going to sit here and feast out on some mussels. Ambrose is not so much of a fan of mussels. I've only got one fry pan, it's a big one, but I've got these cool things that you can put together to make any shape you want, and so I'll just reduce the size of the pan using these. So that's the omelette in its little thing. The outside lifts off pretty easily. And it's nice square with the cheese on one side. I'll just leave that in the pan nice and hot until we're ready to go. And there we have our fresh from the garden dinner, all ready for me to call the boys in. Gonna serve up this mayonnaise, coconut, rhubarb, custard pudding. And I've got some vanilla bean coconut yogurt to go with it, which is pretty delicious.
Radishes, the dog in the garden for radishes, you know? Stuff like that. Carrots, but he can play over
Yum.